This is Craig Lane with Health Alchemy YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 levels of food. And this is both couched in universal terms and personal terms. And we'll get into that in a little bit. We talk about the 4 levels of foods or the 4 grades of food. Then we're looking at, let's start with high finance and investment. Everything we do is an investment of sorts, right? So in financial management, in the financial markets, we talk about ROI, return on investment. And you want the greatest return on investment that you can, right? And so it is with health. That's the basis of my practice. For 20 years being in practice, we want to help people get the fastest return on their investment of time and energy, basically. So with that being said, then, you invest money in your digestion. So you invest money in the foods you choose to digest them, because it requires energy to digest food. Anyone who's overeaten, like Thanksgiving dinner, knows that we're investing a lot of money and energy in food, because after Thanksgiving dinner you're tired. And when we overeat, we all know that. I call it the slump and the slouch. When we get done eating, I worked in restaurants a lot of my life, and I see the slump and the slouch when people overeat. And that means they've taken their 10 units of energy that runs their life, and now 7 of it's going to digestion. And so there's less elsewhere. So what we want then, your 4 levels of foods, then you want to get your top amount back, right? So the foods I call the top level thriving foods, where day in, day out, you can have them every day, pretty much every meal if you wanted, because you're investing 10 units of energy to digest the food, and you're getting back 15. So it's a net gain of 5 every time you eat these foods. How do you know that? Well, it's part of our metabolic typing system. After you eat any meal, 15 to 30 minutes after, you check in. How's your energy? Is it lower? Oh, well then what you ate didn't work for you. They weren't thriving foods. How do we know that? Because your energy is lower. So it's an important subjective marker. If you're craving sweets and carbohydrates after you eat a meal, you didn't eat the right meal. If your mental emotional well-being isn't higher 15 to 30 minutes after you ate, then something was off. Overeating, bad combinations of foods, bad protein, carbohydrate, fat ratio, and not choosing thriving foods. So this is an investigation, right? So for me, I'm very clear what my thriving foods are. It's meat, it's dairy, it's vegetables, a little bit of fruit. Pretty much end of story there. Anything else is what I call the next level down, neutral foods. And you can still have neutral foods every day. Most Americans, the majority of their foods are neutral. In other words, you're putting in 10 units, you're getting back 10 units. Even Steven, right? It's a break even in the financial world. Not great, but at least I didn't lose my money. So for me, you might say brown rice is a neutral food. I don't do well with carbs particularly, but I like the taste of rice, and I don't feel like I'm crashing if I don't overeat it. Another one might be a small amount of fruit with a little bit of yogurt or something. It's not going to get me jacked up like a steak and salad will. Like, I'm pretty high energy after that. Or butter. So you get that. Neutral is you're investing 10 to get back 10 after the meal. You may not feel like a super high energy state, but you're not less energy than before you ate. Key marker there. If you have less energy 15 minutes after you ate, 30 minutes, an hour, somewhere in that range, then you know something's off. Good. 3rd level down, what I call toleration foods. And toleration foods may not necessarily generate a symptom like congestion, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, but you're putting in 10 units of energy, you're getting back 5. So over time that will add up, right? Because you have a net loss every time you eat. So when you're eating enough tolerant foods, then your energy will be lower after you ate, but maybe not symptomatic and maybe not catastrophic. So net loss of 5. You can imagine 3 meals a day, 365 days a year, that's over 1,000 meals of a net loss. So that's where a lot of people are. They're eating neutral foods and a lot of toleration foods. And then that's a biochemical, like you've lost out that year. And year after year, that's why we have degenerative diseases in the United States. People say, I got a bad rep. I've been sick a day in 50 years and now I got cancer. That's why. Too many toleration and neutral foods and not enough thrive foods. The lowest level of food are outright intolerances. You could call them food allergies, but that's where they're poisons, basically. We're reacting, we're symptomatic, and for me, I have a number of toleration and poison foods I've identified through this post-meal, through eliminations, and through pulse testing. There are 3 ways in my office that are free. One is you take your pulses with some foods. That's called the Arthur Coca allergy system. We will be having a video on that shortly. But the poison foods will generate symptoms. They'll generate extreme fatigue. They may generate a cold or a flu. A lot of colds and flus are nothing more than too many of these foods. In these days, American wheat is a poison or a toleration at best. For me, avocado on a bad day is a poison. I can barely keep my eyes open. So these are normal, healthy foods for some people, but here's the individual part, right? Universally, my 5 worst foods in general are thrive foods for other people. But for me, coconut, lentils, avocado, cucumbers, most of the squashes, they're just like 30 minutes after I eat, it's apparent. I can barely keep my eyes open, gas, bloating, farting, all that. Not good. So I tend to avoid those foods unless I get an internal cue that I need them, and sometimes that happens. It's listening. I'm listening. This is the secondary listener. It's not making orders. So it's another free, inexpensive method of investigating, right? This is an investigation. So the 4 levels of food will often carry you home to a higher state of health, and it's just listening and being aware of what's happening within my body. I hope you enjoyed the explanation of how to have more energy from your 4 levels of food and how to have greater and higher health. This is Craig Lane with Health Alchemy YouTube channel, and please enjoy the other videos on our channel. We have so many videos now, you could actually make your own program just from our YouTube channel, your own video health program. Thank you very much.